Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss one very important topic from our Indian polity part, that is GS2 part of your APSC mains and also important for APSC UPSC prelims. Okay, so topic is Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG. Now you have noticed that in APSC mains they used to ask question on such constitutional body, right? Their importance and some recent news, or you can say recent cases related to that particular body. So let's just discuss about this means on CAG. So what is CAG? Under Article 148, you please remember, under Article 148, the Constitution of India provides for an independent office of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So 148 for CAG. Now, who is CAG? CAG is the head of the Indian Audit and Accounts Department. He is the guardian of the public purse and controls the entire financial system of the country at both the levels, center and state. So remember, CAG is the guardian of the public purse, and also you can say who is controller of the financial system, not just for the center, but also for the state. His or her duty is to uphold the Constitution of India and the laws of Parliament in the field of financial administration. He's one of the bulwarks of the democratic system of the government of India. So he is a very good, you can say important position, because he is considered as one of the bulwarks of the democratic system. Now, what are the duties and powers of CAG? Now, next article, that is 149. Article 149 authorizes the Parliament to prescribe the duties and powers of the CAG in relation to the accounts of the unions of the states and of any other authority or body. Accordingly, the Parliament enacted the CAG's Duties, Powers and Conditions of Service Act 1971. Again, one important point for prelims. So 149, as part of 149, article number 149, the Parliament enacted the CAG's Act 1971. And this is about duties, powers and conditions of service of the CAG. The duties and functions of the CAGs are as laid down by the Parliament, and the Constitution are as follows. So Constitution through Article 149 authorizes Parliament to prescribe duties of the CAG. And Parliament enacted the duties, hence Parliament enacted the duties of CAG through this CAG's Duties, Powers and Conditions of Service Act 1971, and according to which the duties are, he audits the accounts related to all expenditures from the Consolidated Fund of India, Consolidated Fund of each state, and Consolidated Fund of each union territory having a legislative assembly. So here I hope that Delhi comes to your mind. Now, so he is directly related to the audit purpose, audit of the accounts of Consolidated Fund of India, state and union territory with a legislative assembly. Next, he audits all the expenditures from the Contingency Fund of India and the Public Account of India, as well as the Contingency Fund of each state and the Public Account of each state. Third, he audits all trading. Just a minute. Okay. Audits all trading, manufacturing, profit and loss accounts, balance sheets, and other subsidiary accounts kept by any department of the central government and state governments. Then he audits the receipts and expenditures of the center and each state to satisfy himself that the rules and procedures on the behalf are designed to secure an effective check on the assessment, collection, and proper allocation of revenue. Next, he audits all transactions of the central and state governments related to debt, sinking funds, deposits, advances, suspense accounts, and remittance business. He also audits receipts, stock accounts, and others with the approval of the president or when required by the president. Then he audits the accounts of any other authority when requested by the president or governor. For example, the audit of the local bodies, but this should be requested by the president or governor. Now, he advises the president with regard to the prescriptions of the form in which the accounts of the center and states shall be kept. He submits his audit reports relating to the accounts of the center to the president, who shall in turn place them before the houses of parliament. So he will submit the audit reports to president, and then president before the house of parliament. He submits his audit reports relating to the accounts of a state to governor. In case of center, president, but in case of state, he will submit the audit report to the governor, and governor in turn place them before the state legislature. So these are the duties. Now, one important point is that what is the role of CAG in the Public Accounts Committee, that is PAC? You know, the CAG submits 3 audit reports to the president on, and what are they? On appropriation accounts, on finance account, and on public undertakings. This Public Account Committee examines the reports of CAG. The president lays these reports before both the houses of the parliament. The PAC examines these reports and submits its finding to the parliament. Now, ensuring checks and balances, CAG helps PAC to ensure a check on the government, especially with respect to the expenditure bill. Okay, first you have seen that PAC examines the reports of CAG, and president lays these reports before the houses of parliament, and PAC examines them and submits its finding to the parliament. Then next, he ensures checks and balances of the government expenditure bill. Then third, ensuring accountability. The CAG assists the PAC in examining this report. Thus, there is a close working relationship between CAG and PAC to secure the accountability of the executive in the field of financial administration and fiscal federalism. Then CAG as a guide to PAC, because CAG acts as a guide, friend, and philosopher of the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament. CAG guides in almost all the cases related to these reports. Then corrective actions, CAG ensures that corrective action suggested by him has been taken place. And in cases where it has not been taken, then what CAG will do? CAG reports this matter to the PAC, and PAC will take up the matter. Then interpreter and translator. Yes, CAG also acts as interpreter and translator, explaining the official's views to the politician and vice versa. Then listing the urgent matters. CAG prepares a list of the most urgent matters which deserve the attention of the Public Accounts Committee. These are the tasks that, or you can say role of CAG in the PAC, Public Accounts Committee. Now, some latest reports of CAG. Few noticeable latest reports of CAG. First, Assam's NRC. About Assam's NRC, the CAG has flagged serious irregularities, including haphazard development of software for the exercise, making it prone to data tampering, and flagged undue profits worth crores amassed by the system integrator by violating the Minimum Wages Act during the update exercise of the NRC, that is National Register of Citizens in Assam. Then about CPSC, Comptroller Auditor General of India has also raised concern over the higher number of vacancies for the post of independent directors in 59 of the 72 or 82% listed central public sector enterprises. About DRDO, according to another CAG report, the DRDO took 17 to 569 weeks for the submission of proposals in 29 projects, which has a cascading effect on sanctioning of the project. The delays resulted in the changes in the technology to be used, import of the said items by user, and non-availability of the required items with the users. Remember, these are important some issues, or you can say the reports that CAG had gone through recently, right? Then again, about plastic waste management, in a compliance audit report, CAG has said that Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, that is MOEF and CC, has mechanisms to assess the generation of public waste, but known for its collection and safe disposal. Plastic waste management rules 2016 could not be implemented effectively and efficiently due to a lack of action planned by the MOE and CC, and the ministry is also lacking in effective coordination with the pollution control board. So these are also some audit reports of CAG. Okay. Now, one more important fact that we have to discuss, that how is the office of CAG in India different from that of Britain? If you have seen the question paper of this year, PSC mains, then you have seen that they're asking the differences like emergency of India's conditions or with some other countries. So we have to be very much aware with this type of differences. Like this one, how CAG in India different from Britain. You will see here, CAG in India, he's only performing the role of an auditor general and not of a comptroller. But CAG in Britain, he has the power of both the comptroller and auditor general. So in Britain, CAG has more power, right? Then in India, he audits the accounts after the expenditure is committed. That is ex post facto. So in India, ex post facto, and in case of Britain, what happens? No money can be drawn from the public exchequer without the approval of CAG. In this case also, CAG has more power in case of, here it is the Britain. Okay, it is the country of Britain. Then in case of India, he is not a member of the parliament, but in case of Britain, he is a member of the House of Commons. Okay, so these are the difference. Let's come to the some limitations of on the powers of CAG. First, we have seen that report is post facto, means after the expenditure is incurred and has only prospective value in improving the systems of procedure. You just remember easily that in case of India, what is happening, that ex post facto report is prepared by CAG. So which you cannot say that a kind of power, because if it is a power, then without CAG's approval, no amount can be withdrawn from the public exchequer, right? But in case of India, it is alternate, that is post facto. Then secret service expenditure. Such expenditure is outside the purview of CAG, and he cannot call for particulars of expenditure incurred by the executive agencies, but has to accept a certificate from the competent administrative authority that the expenditure has been so incurred. Then rising public-private partnership investment. Since the legislation, the government has increased its participation with the private sector through the PPT, that is public-private transfer, and BOT, that is built-own transfer models. However, the rules have not undergone a significant change, and CAG has, or you can say CAG does not have the power to audit PPP, public-private partnership investment. You can underline this statement, that CAG does not have the power to audit PPP. Next, NGOs, PRIs, ULBs are out of audit ambit of CAG. Again, a very big issue with respect to the CAG position. Then DRDA is also not auditable. Then again, denial of documents, the path to obtain the relevant documents to carry out the tasks and make a report on its basis has never been easy for the audit department. It has also been involved in several cases where the necessary documents were denied to the CAG and the powers of the CAG had to be reinstated by the judiciary. In the past, almost 30% of the documents demanded by CAG officials have been denied to them. Then mode of appointment is again a raising a question mark, because the present selection process of CAG is entirely internal to the government machinery. No one outside has any knowledge of what criteria are applied, how names are shortlisted, and how a final selection is made. So there is a lack of clarity on the criterion, the definitions of the field of soil, and the procedures for the selections of this high constitutional functionary. Then word audit not defined. The word audit has not been defined in our constitution or in the CAG that 1971. We have so far been going by 150 years of history, tradition, existing provisions, and international practices, but no clear-cut definition of the word audit. The CAG has not formulated its own policy in the above report and has only gone by policy prescriptions recommended internally at various levels within the government. So see, these are some serious issues with the CAG's power or CAG's limitation. Now, what reforms could help the CAG function in an effective manner? First of all, Vinod Rai's suggestion. So whatever the reforms suggested by Vinod Rai, who was a former CAG, that should be implemented. First of all, he said that bring all the public-private partnership, that is PPPs, Panchayat Raj institutions, and government-funded societies within the ambit of the CAG. Then CAG Act of 1971 should be amended to keep pace with the changes in the governance, a collegium time mechanism to choose a new CAG on the lines of selecting a chief vigilance commissioner, because current day selection procedure is a kind of ambiguous, not clear cut, right? No transparency. So that should be actually changed. So a collegium type mechanism according to Vinod Rai should be followed while choosing a new CAG. Then CAG has to prepare itself to audit issues like implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals and the GST, that is Goods and Services Tax. Then independence should be ensured. Internationally, most countries have enacted laws putting in certain qualifications and also the process of appointment of the head of their Supreme Audit institution, so that he works independently and is not under the influence of the executive. And I already said that transparency in appointment should be maintained. Then delays should be carved out. You know, there's a delay in the process of this auditing or whatever the suggestion he has made towards the implementation process. So this delay should be carved out. Then power for enforcing the orders of CAG, because the CAG Act of 1971 should be amended to provide some punitive powers to the CAG, says that in case of delay in submitting information by the government agencies, he or she can enforce it, or he can some kind of actions against us delay. So some powers should be given or enforced to the position of CAG. So these are our reforms. And first of all, you should mention the reforms suggested by Vinod Rai, that is the former CAG, that should be followed to make the CAG work efficiently. So our CAG helps the parliament, state legislature hold their respective governments accountable, and hence reforms in office of the CAG is of utmost importance. So this is all about CAG, and means its duties, its significance, and then you can say how CAG of India is different from CAG of Britain, and then what are the limitation of CAG exposition, or you can say issues related to CAG exposition, and some recent cases that CAG had gone through, and what are the reforms to make CAG work efficiently or make CAG work independently. And so I hope that everything is clear now. Okay, so let's conclude this lecture. Thank you.